What's up YouTube, Jeff back again today, another exciting Samsung video for you guys, and today doing one of my annual tutorials. So there's a lot of people out there who bought a new Galaxy S25 device, whether it's an S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra, and maybe you're new to Android, maybe you're just new to Samsung coming from another Android device. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get the most out of the Samsung keyboard, which is the default keyboard on your new Samsung Galaxy. Now of course, if you're a return Galaxy user, you may also find some new hidden tips and tricks. There's a lot of cool stuff the Samsung keyboard can do that many people don't know about. So that's what we're going to get into today. Before we get started, remind you guys to check out our website, sammyguru.com, for all the latest Samsung written coverage. Our brand new writer, Josh, who's one of our freelancers, he wrote a written guide on the Samsung keyboard. Today I'm going to go through a lot of the tips that he covered in the article, but also probably add some of my own commentary, my own unique flair, how I customize my keyboard. But if you want to reference his written work, you can do that as well. We cover the latest Samsung news, tips, tricks, tutorials, and reviews. You can also get in our Sammy Guru rewards program. If you're going to buy a Galaxy S25 Ultra, you can get a free mystery box or mystery gift using that. The official sign up for the membership program, where you'll be able to view your dashboard and all your upcoming rewards, will be live soon. So check the pinned comment description to see that. So I will start off with the first thing that Josh really talked about here, at least the main thing that he talked about, which is to set up your keyboard to type faster by swiping. Now, I'm going to go through a lot of the functionality here just by opening my keyboard and showing you guys from in here. There are two main options. You've got this three dots option here, which brings down some additional modes and functionality of the keyboard, which we'll go through. And then of course you have the settings. This takes you directly into the keyboard options under general management in the One UI settings. So if you tap on this first, we're going to go and talk about the swiping, because a lot of people want to use swipe to touch, swipe to type rather. Swipe, touch, and feedback controls are where you will find that option. So if you go in here, you'll notice keyboard swipe controls. Swipe to type is right here. Now you'll also notice cursor control, which is something that Josh also highlighted in his article. This allows you to slide your finger across the keyboard to move the cursor, but you can actually enable this while you have swipe typing enabled as well. So I'll show you guys how to use that in a second. I would recommend doing swipe to type because most people use that and it works very well. Keyboard touch and hold delay is also something you can decide if you want to turn on or off. It basically determines how long it takes for the continuous touch to be recognized as a touch and hold. So if you hold it for 0.3 seconds, that's going to be a touch and hold, which will be important because I'll show you guys the spacebar gesture for spacebar cursor control in just a second. And that's exactly what you can customize here as well. You can customize the touch and hold spacebar to either be cursor control, which again we'll look at, or voice input. But there's already a voice input button at the bottom of the keyboard, so I usually leave this to cursor control personally. You can also have the speak keyboard input allowed, which will speak what you're actually putting in there. Backspace speed, which determines the speed at which it deletes characters. I find that normal is perfectly fine for this. Into X and take a look at this. Here's how cursor control works. I'll just say this is a test, and I'll show you if you long press now on the spacebar, you can go left to right. And if you have a longer piece of writing, these are cool. You can hold down, you can go up or down too with the cursor control. Now here's a really cool thing. When you're using the cursor control with this finger, you can go up here, use another finger, you got multi-touch, you can highlight this, highlight any text you want, copy it, and do whatever you want with it. So you can copy and paste text while you're using the cursor control in the space bar. So this is really important. Again, you can use swipe typing, as you guys saw. You can use swipe typing and also have cursor control at the same time, which lets you have the best of both worlds. Now, that's not the only hidden feature that has to do with shortcuts. You can also double tap the spacebar to get a period. That's something you can turn on or off in the settings. And perhaps the one that blows people's mind the most, if you want to delete things that are in front of your cursor, you can press Shift, which is this little up arrow, and delete at the same time. And it will delete things to the right of your cursor. That's called a forward delete. I actually made a YouTube short about it. People went crazy over it because they'd never seen this feature. It's very cool, and it's something that's hidden inside a Samsung keyboard that you can do. Now, moving along to another thing that Josh talked about in his intro here, and that is customizing the keyboard to fit your needs. Now, there's a lot of ways you can customize the keyboard. If you use the three dots menu here, you can resize it directly from within inside the keyboard. So you can move this up or down, whatever you want to do. You can see here, you can kind of move this, you can also position it wherever you want. Instead of just resizing it, you can move it up Of course, I don't like to have all that dead space, so I usually just recommend taking this handle and dragging it up. But you can adjust it however you want. It's multi-directional adjustment, whichever direction you want to use. Now, I personally find the default to be perfectly fine for me, but you might like a larger keyboard, you might like a smaller keyboard, whatever, you can adjust this here. There's some other places you can adjust the size as well, which we'll get into in just a second. So if you go into here, you'll notice there's also an option for one-handed keyboard, which if you turn on the one-handed keyboard, will move everything over to the right. You can also move it to the other side as well, or re-expand it back out. That's another very useful thing. If you jump into the settings, you'll notice that down here, there's some other options that have to do with the style and the layout. You've got the keyboard toolbar, which shows that toolbar that we've been working with. High contrast keyboard, which gives you this really cool looking black, yellow, and orange look. There's another way you can change your theme as well using Theme Park, but you can also change the theme from light, solid, dark, and dark, solid, dark, which is basically the AMOLED black theme. This is the one that I'm using right now. And I personally think it looks the best of the default themes. The modes, you've got your standard mode for portrait view. I got the standard keyboard landscape view. I've got the split keyboard. You can also have the standard keyboard, although the S25 Ultra is quite large. So for this particular one, I would rather recommend doing the split keyboard or the floating keyboard, depending on how you type when you have things in landscape. Now, size and transparency also lives in here, so you can also play around with that here. Transparency settings are available with the floating keyboard only, so you can't adjust that from here, but you can do the size the same way that we just did it in the previous step within the keyboard itself. The layout, you can choose to have button and symbol layout. You can change this from default to alternative here, and you can also customize this even in a more granular way using Goodlock's Keys Cafe, which I'll show at the end. Number keys on or off, depending on if you want them. Alternative characters shown here so that when you do, your number characters, you can see what's there. That makes it nice to use. If you want to see those characters there, you can see the shift character and get to your slash and all those pieces, or you can turn them off and just have the letters there. Spacebar row style, you can turn the comma or the period off or leave them on. Email address input, decide if it shows the .com, what it shows. You can also do www at the bottom if you want that there when you're typing in email addresses on web forms, things like that. Font size, you can also change the font size on the keyboard itself. If you want the font size to be larger, smaller, whatever, that just affects the font size on the keys, not actually the keys themselves. Custom symbols, you can modify these. Again, there's more granular control of this in Keys Cafe, which we'll see in a second. We looked at swipe, touch, and feedback. Voice input will let you decide which voice input you're using. You can either use Samsung voice input or Google. I find both of them to be good. Google used to be better, but Samsung's really gotten up to that next level. If you want to do translation, which I'll show you guys in a second how you can do that, you do need to install the various language packs that you want to translate to or from. And you can also turn on filters here to hide offensive words if you're interested in doing that. That is on by default, I should note. So that is something that's there by default. Handwriting, you can have your handwriting turned into text. That's inside the keyboard shortcut menu, which we can go back and look at in a moment. Translation, if you want translation, you can use either Samsung or Google. Again, since Galaxy I has become a thing, Samsung has gotten a lot better with translation, so I recommend sticking with Samsung. S Pen to text, that means you can use your S Pen again to translate to text. Save screenshots to Clipboard, and down here, third-party content shows what's going to show in the search when you search for things like GIFs, emojis, etc. inside the keyboard menu itself, which we will look at. So I have enabled all of them so you guys can take a look at what the various options do. Now, if we go back to the very top here, Writing Assist and Drawing Assist are both the Galaxy I features that let you get basically grammar and spelling suggestions, change your writing style. That's baked into the keyboard menu. Drawing Assist, which can also be utilized within the keyboard as well to generate images using your S Pen. Predictive Text controls auto replace, suggest text corrections, suggest emojis, suggest stickers while typing. If you turn that off, it will remove everything except the stickers. And then text shortcuts is a very useful option. And text shortcuts basically allows you to type something short, and then it will expand that when you're in the keyboard. So if you type OMW and you want to convert that to on my way, you can add this. And now whenever I type OMW on the keyboard, let's go back. Whenever I type OMW on the keyboard, it's going to convert it to on my way, which is awesome. One place I would recommend using this highly is you can utilize this for your address and stuff like that, text shortcuts. If you just put ADDY, ADDY, or ADD, whatever, and then spacebar, it'll fill in your whole address if you utilize these text shortcuts correctly. Fantastic option that Samsung's had for a while. Under more typing options, you can turn these things on or off. I like to turn auto capitalize off personally because sometimes I find it annoying. This is where double tap to spacebar to add period is also there, and multilingual text prediction in case you're trying to type a word in Spanish, but you don't know how to add that special character. The Samsung keyboard, can handle that bit for you. So the keyboard toolbar, I think we got everything on that I basically have for mine usually when I'm setting this up. Over here, you'll see we got the Galaxy Eye options, spelling and grammar and writing style. Composer will allow you to type something in. It'll rewrite it. You can rewrite it in social media, my style, professional, casual, whatever. Convert between these various styles, which is very helpful. Spelling and grammar and writing style will check your spelling and grammar for you. See, I missed a period there. I missed an ellipses there. So it'll go ahead and fix all of that for you. It's a very nice feature to have with the Galaxy Eye. And then writing style, right? You can rewrite this into various writing styles, which are the ones we saw before, like social, etc. And of course, it uses the context of the app you're in. So if you're in a social app, it's going to rewrite it in that social style. If you're in an email app and it looks like you're writing a business email, it'll try to write it in that professional style, etc. Now, if you do go here into the emoji tab, this is where you can do your search, and you do have those GIFs, all these different sources, Bitmoji that we talked about before. And of course, you can create your own Galaxy avatar here. From in here, you can also choose your content show, AI stickers, etc. And we'll show you everything that you've enabled in that third-party content before. And of course, you can search over here. If you go back to the emojis, there's a place to search the emojis to find what it is you're looking for inside of this tab. But they're also nicely headed here at the top. You can also add an option here. If you go in and add, you can see some of your favorite stickers. You'll be able to add those right there from your keyboard. Here, you've got your translation, and for the translation, you can utilize, whatever it is you want to utilize and translate this to another language. Obviously, see, this is English translated to English, but if I want to translate to French, then of course I can just, highlight all the text that I'm interested in, and then it'll go ahead and it will translate this text for me. And you can see that's cool. Very interesting. I only copied the last part, I guess, there. Paste that in there, it'll do the translation for you. Again, you do have to have those translation packs. You can add languages right there to do the translation. If you don't have them downloaded, it won't work. Your clipboard is handily right in here for you. You can pen stuff to the top of the clipboard, delete the stuff that you don't need, save everything you've recently pasted to the clipboard there for easy copying and pasting. Very simple inside of various apps and multitasking. Over here, exploring the other options, here's where you've got the handwriting. Now, you can use your finger, but obviously on a phone like the S25 Ultra, this is where it really makes sense to get out the S Pen if you're going to write a lot of stuff, and you can utilize your S Pen. Even without Bluetooth, it's nice to have the S Pen because it can be, very hard to write, stuff that you want with your finger, and it's really easy to do it here. Although you can see sometimes the S Pen makes a typo. This is the general text S Pen to text menu. Next up, if we go back to the three dots, we've got the modes, which switches this from standard to floating. Here, you cannot switch to the split keyboard unless you're in landscape. So just keep that in mind, but you can switch between those two. I accidentally typed the settings there. Extract text and theme and text editing. So text editing, what this allows you to do is get cursor control with arrows. Basically, since I use that spacebar cursor control that I was showing you guys earlier, this is something I don't really utilize, but it is something that's there if you want text editing control and you don't want to use the cursor control that I was showing you guys before. It's another way that you could go about it. Now, the theme here will allow you to go into Theme Park and theme your keyboard, but you can also do this using Keys Cafe. I'm going to show you guys that in just a second, how to utilize that particular functionality. And then the final option here is the extract text option. The extract text option will allow you to extract a piece of text from pretty much anything. So if you have a photo or a piece of paper or anything like that, it'll let you extract text. So let's take a look at how this works. Okay, so here I found just a piece of mail that I had lying around. We're gonna go ahead and extract some text here. It's extracting the text, and you can see it extracted the text from the back of this little perforated thing I got in the mail. It says side edges first. It did do a little bit of kind of incorrect translation, because you see it says then fold, crease, and tear. The stub along the perforation is what it said originally. So it kind of put some of the words together. But in general, it does a pretty good job. Obviously, I'm doing it behind the camera, so I'm not able to position it in exactly the perfect way because I'm trying to show you guys how it works. But this will allow you to paste it in there directly from the extract text menu. Now, the final thing in here is Samsung Pass. This will allow you to access all of your passwords and things like that directly from within the keyboard, which is obviously a great feature because if you want to insert those on various websites, keep track of those, you can do that. Down here, you also have your voice typing, as I mentioned before. You can insert everything, and it is very, very accurate. Like I said, Samsung has improved a lot. As you guys can see, I'm typing incredibly fast or talking incredibly fast, and it's keeping up very easily. And you see I ran out of the number of characters for that particular tweet. Anyway, to finish this off, Keys Cafe is the best way to take full customization of your keyboard in terms of the look and feel and the layout. So if you go into GoodLock and you download Keys Cafe, you can actually download Keys Cafe as a standalone module or as part of GoodLock. It's up to you. If you go into Keys Cafe, you'll notice that not only can you customize the look and the theme of it, there's also all these cool effects that you guys have seen me using on my keyboard throughout this video. So first of all, if you go in here, you can change your keyboard to various styles. These are some preset styles. Simple, the Dvorak Colmac keyboard. You've got various symbol ones. If you're taking a math course, a chemistry course, math and chemistry, maybe you're an engineering major, you can load these up and they've got all the symbols that you might need in the correct places. You see the math keyboard has got various mathematical symbols that you might want to utilize. Now, you can also customize these keyboards to your use, and you can see you've got the various fractions, all that, Roman numerals, various symbols you would need for differentiation and integration. You can customize and move these symbols wherever you want to make it ideal for your use. You can do it with a regular keyboard as well, and you can see here that this little piece here, you can actually upload a keyboard that someone else has made and import it. If I created one, I could share it with you guys. You could import the keyboard, no problem. Keys Cafe supports that. Styling your own keyboard, not only can you preload a theme, and you guys can see here the theme that I have utilized before. This is the blue Sammy Guru theme. You see if we bring it up here, go back here and take a look at it. This is what it looks like, matches the website. And once you've done that, you can also customize this fully if you want. You can take full control, download and save this theme, and export it as I was talking about before. In addition, once you either customize your own theme, color theme, you can change the effects of the keys. You guys see all the effects that I've had in this video. That means when you type, you're gonna see these really cool effects appearing on the keys. You've got the keyboard color, the key motion. You can change each of these to one of preset styles. You've got 8 different styles for keyboard color. You've got 6 for key color effect and 5 for key motion effect. You can see the ones that I chose in there, but you can play around with it. There's even a paw print one for those of you guys who have pets, who have a dog, you like that. You can go in here. You can also modify the colored palette that you're interested in seeing for the effects. Absolutely insane customization, and that's why I love Samsung. I'm using this right now on mute because I'm in the video and I don't want it to go off, but you can also change the various sounds here of your keyboard as you type so that when you're not in silent mode, you'll be able to hear those sounds as you're typing. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is a full overview of the Samsung keyboard, which hopefully is useful for you new Galaxy S25 users who are new to Samsung, but maybe some of you who are not new, who have been here for a while, learned some things as well. Definitely a long video, but of course, as usual, I will have a full kind of outline of the video in the comments and description below. Check out sammyguru.com. Josh's written guide there is also very easy to follow if you want to reference it as you go through my video. He probably mentioned a few things that I didn't, and vice versa. Check out the site daily so that you can make sure you get the latest Samsung news. Sammy Guru Rewards is opening soon. Hope you guys will sign up, get some cool Samsung stuff every time you make a purchase from Samsung.com. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much for watching.